Another thing sales reps, besides forgetting to add the right products to a quote, another thing they love to do is add discounts to their products, right? So in HubSpot today, there's no native way to manage the amounts that sales reps are discounting, where we can't create any conditional rules or maybe advanced approvals where based on the discount the sales rep requests, do we need to can they do it on their own, or do we need to send it to the sales manager, or maybe the sales manager plus the CFO in some examples? With Quote Happily, we can create very much a conditional rule set where based on the amount discounted, we route the approval to the right person based on, again, the discount field here in HubSpot. So to show you an example of that, we have an advanced approval where we tell Quote Happily, hey, I can let my sales reps discount just under 10%. So if I add a 9% discount here, you'll see that I'm still able to publish the quote. No one's going to stop me. We let our sales reps do that on their own, right? That's what we call an advanced approval. We're not going to waste someone's time to approve this if we just want to let the sales reps do that on their own leisure, right? But if I go to a 15% discount, you'll see that what happens here is this published quote will submit to approval, and we have a conditional message here displaying to the sales rep, this will need to be approved by your sales manager. So they can't actually publish this quote and send it to the customer until it's been approved by their sales manager in this case. However, if we go to a 25% discount, maybe that message changes not only to the sales manager, but it also needs to be approved by the CFO because we've reached a discount threshold that's higher than what the sales manager is able to approve on their own, right? So this is where we can do a multi-level approval where it can be sent to not just one person in HubSpot, but we can also send it to multiple people in this case. And last but not least, when your sales reps get a little cheeky at the end of the quarter, trying to get that deal in at a discount that just wouldn't fly with any organization, if I try to do like a 35% discount, we can just outright block a sales rep and say, hey, this is beyond the threshold that we're allowed to do on this product. And we can just block them outright and take away the publish or the approval functionality from them in this example. Now, Max, if you think about HubSpot today and how they run approvals, how much better is that?
Infinitely, right? If anyone's like not familiar, because like maybe, and maybe quite frankly, you haven't been quoting on HubSpot because you can't do advanced approvals, right? Like for anyone who's watching that doesn't know, like native quote approvals out of the box in HubSpot require you to get literally every single quote approved, right? And you can only have one person be the approver, right? Which I think would probably drive a lot of people to like run approvals through, through NetSuite. Andrew, is that a thing? Are people like running quote approvals inside of like NetSuite pretty commonly, or using a different app for that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I haven't seen that, but
yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, so if you're only stuck with doing it in HubSpot, then right, the native one out of the box is going to be pretty bad. If you need any like, layered sort of like complex level of approvals, or if you don't want to just have to approve literally every single quote that you create, right? So like advanced approvals by far is like one of my favorite features. And we've got a ton of videos and stuff about it that you can check out too. So cool.
Beautiful. Yeah. So you're probably wondering, how the heck are we firing all these rules and outcomes for the sales rep? So I want to kind of take everyone through our rules engine, which Quote Happily in its inception was based on a master rules engine, right? We wanted to create rule-based outcomes for sales reps based on things they're doing inside of the HubSpot deal, company record, all these different things. And we want to have relative outcomes for them inside of the quote builder when they're building a quote for a particular customer, right? So for example, I had a couple of outcomes going on that quote today where, for example, if I wanted to block the enterprise discount here, so anytime we have an enterprise product and the discount percentage is greater than 30, we want to block the sales rep in this case and display this message to them, right? We also have those approval rules where, for example, if it's a enterprise approval and it's between 10 and 20%, I want to route this to a sales manager in this case. And this approval key will be important for something I show you later, so please remember this. And in the second example where the CFO needs to get involved, we're creating a separate discount threshold between 20 and 30, where we're requiring approval, and we can change this from sales to CFO approval. Now, based on these cues that we set on the approval rules we build in Quote Happily, we can leverage HubSpot workflows to then create these approval flows based on the approval queue that it met in Quote Happily. And we can send people down a various amount of paths where in certain examples, based on the sales manager, it can go to one of two people, or maybe for our more complex approvals where it's a sales manager plus a CFO, we can route it to any one of our sales managers here and then route it to the CFO for final approval. So again, we want to use all of the native features that HubSpot already has today, and then just add that extra layer of functionalities and rule sets and conditions to route things to the right people every single time.